Ready, two. Chaplain Seifer will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, you have gathered us all together for this momentous occasion, the passing of the torch of leadership and responsibility of Coast Guard Sector Jacksonville from Captain Mark Vaughn to Captain Janet Espino-Young. Today we thank and praise you for the blessing that Captain Vaughn and his family have been to our Coast Guard family in this place. There have definitely been some rough waters over the last few years, but because of Captain's guidance and the resiliency of our crews, the sector has been able to weather the storm. We now ask you grant Captain Espino-Young your wisdom to keep the ship steered in the right direction, in order that we may continue supporting all the wonderful missions of the Coast Guard. Bless her family as they make another transition, and bless this change of command ceremony, that it may be a joyous occasion for all. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Everyone, please be seated. A traditional part of the change of command ceremony includes the sector commander and the prospective sector commander reviewing the unit's personnel. Captain Vaughn and Captain Espino-Young will now inspect the assembled crew. Platoon commander, prepare the honor platoon for inspection. It is now my distinct honor to introduce the presiding official for today's change of command, Commander of Coast Guard 7th District, Admiral Brendan McPherson. Admiral McPherson is responsible for the oversight of Coast Guard operations in Southeast United States and the Caribbean Basin, an area encompassing 1.8 million square miles, and leadership of a combined active duty, reserve, civilian, and volunteer workforce of over 9,000 members. Please welcome Admiral McPherson.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Deputy, for that kind introduction. Thank you for keeping it brief. First of all, Chaplain Seifer, thank you for those inspirational words. Great way to start off in today's ceremony. And for all of you here, welcome. Thank you for being here as we recognize the tremendous leadership of Captain Vaughn these last few years and transition into recognizing his many years of service with the Coast Guard, as we also welcome Captain Espino-Young to the Sector Jacksonville team. I'm very honored to be joined here today by my Command Master Chief, your Command Master Chief for the Coast Guard 7th District, CMC Aaron Zimmer. And we were talking just a short while ago, and we were saying, you know, there's really no place else we'd rather be than here today in Jacksonville at Station Mayport to recognize the tremendous work that Sector Jacksonville has done under the leadership of Captain Vaughn, and as I said, also welcome Captain Espino-Young and her family to the Jacksonville area. So I join the MC in extending a very warm welcome to all of our distinguished guests, friends, families, and shipmates. Thank you all for being here today. I'd like to begin to extend a very special welcome to Captain Mark Vaughn's family. his daughter Kristen, his wife Kristen, his daughter Brooke, his son Anderson, his parents Beth and Captain Richard Vaughn, U.S. Coast Guard retired, his in-laws Ann and Captain Levering Keeley, U.S. Public Health Service retired, his brother Colonel Brian Vaughn, and his sister-in-law Megan. So as you can see, a very patriotic, dedicated family who's made military service a part of their life. So thank you all for being here today and for what you've done to support Mark through all these years in his service in the Coast Guard. And let me also extend a special welcome, of course, to Captain Espino Young's family, her husband Brian, her sons Zachary and Luke, who are with us, her mother Estrella, her sisters Jamaris and Marilyn, and her brother-in-law Jerry. Thank you all for being here to join us for this special day. And to the men and women of Sector Jacksonville, thank you for what you do every day to save lives, secure our borders, protect our marine environment, and facilitate safe and secure commerce throughout this region. You do all this with only about 400 Coast Guard men and women, along with the following subunits: 1 coastal buoy tender, 3 87-foot coastal patrol boats, 1 inland construction tender, 2 aids to navigation teams, 3 multi-mission small boat stations, and 1 marine safety detachment. In all this, you are always ready, not only to carry out the many vital missions to save lives, secure our borders, and facilitate safe and secure commerce, but also to meet the rapidly growing needs of our nation's space industry and the commercial shipping industry, especially as it increasingly transitions to liquefied natural gas as an alternative fuel. So during Captain Vaughn's tenure, this sector marked several firsts. Sector Jacksonville is the Coast Guard's premier expert in space launch and recovery safety, as well as safety policy development. You were faced with an exponential growth in government and commercial space launches, and you tackled it head-on these past few years. You safely assisted in the execution of the first launch and recovery of NASA-sponsored astronauts on commercial-provided rockets, the first space tourism launch and recovery, and the first implementation of a Coast Guard safety zone within international waters. Sector Jacksonville is always leading the Coast Guard's understanding and policy development for liquefied natural gas, and you provided your expertise for the first LNG ship-to-ship bunkering with a foreign vessel in a U.S. port. In addition, you supported the first offshore LNG bunkering, and the first cruise ship LNG bunkering, and the first simultaneous dual LNG bunkering operation. And so to meet these growing needs, under Captain Vaughn's leadership, we have been reinvesting in Sector Jacksonville. Beyond building a brand new sector headquarters not far from here, we are completing major reconstruction projects at stations Ponce, Canaveral, and Mayport to improve the quality of life, the readiness of those units. What Sector Jacksonville does best, and will continue to do under Captain Espino Young's leadership, is to ensure the safety, the security, and the economic prosperity of our great nation in close partnership with our partners from federal, state, and local industry and international partners, with an area of responsibility that spans more than 40,000 square miles. Without fail, Sector Jacksonville demonstrates the attributes that have set us apart as the world's best Coast Guard. You pursued mission excellence and ensured the safety of all those on the water by conducting almost 800 search and rescue cases to save and assist over 1,300 lives. You saved almost $20 million worth of property. You performed nearly 2,000 marine inspections and over 110 pollution cases and 500 marine investigations. You conducted over 340 U.S. Navy ballistic missile submarine escorts, and you supported over 100 rocket launches and 13 space capsule recoveries. Please join me in a round of applause for the men and women of Coast Guard Sector Jacksonville. But you know, nothing I just mentioned happens by mistake. It takes strong leadership, empathetic leaders like Captain Vaughn to make it all happen. It takes a team of well-trained and seasoned players who practice hard and are ready to take the field on game day. And I can tell you around here, every day is game day. And this team could not have been better coached or led than Captain Vaughn these past few years. Some of these players have been recognized for national level awards, like Ensign Melger, a Douglas A. Monroe Inspirational Leadership Award winner, or MST-1 Diaz, a Master Chief Petty Officer Pearl Fowry Women's Leadership Award winner, or Station Mayport, here, a Bud Sparks Reserve Award winner. And these are just a few of the many awards that the men and women of Sector Jacksonville have earned over the past 3 years. The large crowd that is in attendance today is a real testament to the partnerships with our federal, state, and local partners in the region. Mark has been a significant piece of establishing those partnerships with our local, state, and federal partners, and the results really speak for themselves. Relationships such as the one the sector has with the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue under the leadership of Chief Powers. Nowhere was this more on display than joint effort it took to extinguish and investigate a dangerous raging fire aboard the roll-on roll-off vessel Ho Chi Minh, or the coordination with federal, state, and local partners to conduct the 4-month salvage operation on the barge Bridgeport. These types of partnerships require constant joint training, understanding, camaraderie, and close partnerships. And like any good leader, Mark will deflect all of the credit upon his hard-working crews that execute the broad range of missions that Sector Jacksonville is responsible for. I'll have a little bit more to say about Mark and his leadership over the last 28 years. But first, Mark, please join me so we can more formally recognize you for your exceptional performance and leadership in leading Sector Jacksonville these past few years.
Admiral McPherson will now present the Legion of Merit to Captain Vaughn. Attention to award. Captain Vaughn is cited for outstanding meritorious service in the performance of duty as Commander, Coast Guard Sector Jacksonville from May 2019 to July 2022. Under his leadership, Sector Jacksonville conducted more than 2,700 law enforcement boardings and executed 781 search and rescue cases that saved or assisted over 1,300 lives. His exceptional foresight positioned the Coast Guard to remain on pace with the rapid expansion of the space industry, reaffirming the nation's role as the global leader in space activities. Recognizing Port Canaveral's rapid space industry and passenger vessel growth, he championed an organizational modification request to convert Marine Safety Detachment Port Canaveral into a full Marine Safety Unit. His contributions to the 7th District space operations identified the required resources and regulatory schemes to meet the nation's or industry's future demands. Most notably, Sector Jacksonville developed a novel risk assessment tool for space launch and recovery operations that earned national level recognition and was implemented across the Coast Guard. He also led efforts in support of the marine industry's transition to LNG as a primary fuel, becoming the first United States port to support bunkering of LNG-fueled passenger vessels to meet new international emission standards. Demonstrating exceptional crisis leadership in the responses to motor vessel Ho Chi Minh fire and barge Bridgeport groundings, his timely and decisive actions prevented any disruption to the flow of commerce to the Port of Jacksonville. Captain Vaughn's ability, diligence, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. Given this 14th day of 2022, signed Linda L. Fagan, Admiral, U.S. Coast Guard, Commandant. Please be seated.
Before I continue, if you just also join me in a round of applause for the Navy band that's here today. Great job, Navy band. Really appreciate the good work. Along with today's Color Guard, led by our auxiliarists, thank you, Color Guard, for the great job you did, not only today, but every day. Thank you. So, Captain Espino Young, let me be one of the first to welcome you to Sector Jacksonville. And Janet is no stranger to this district. I personally relied on her expertise and her knowledge the last year under my tenure, and prior to that for my predecessor, where Janet served as the Chief of Prevention for the Coast Guard 7th District in Miami. So she was responsible for all prevention activities and operations throughout the entire southeastern United States and Caribbean. Let me tell you, no small job. But that gives me great confidence in Janet's ability and her leadership. And I'll tell you, Janet, I'm just thrilled to see you here taking over for Mark. Mark, you've got big shoes to fill, but you've got big feet. So we're looking forward. To having you join the team up here. I know in this area in particular, we really count on the close working relationships and partners we have with our DoD partners from the U.S. Navy, with our partners in the port, with our partners in the political sphere, with the marine industry, and certainly amongst all of our shipmates here in the Sector Jacksonville AOR, just doing tremendous work. So, Janet, thank you for taking on this huge responsibility. Welcome aboard. I look forward to the great things you'll do here at Sector Jacksonville under your tenure. And as you know, command is an awesome responsibility, but as I said, I know you are certainly up for the task. But as commander of this sector, responsible for the welfare, the training, the readiness of this team, I expect you to lead a workforce that is highly proficient and professional, always remembering that we are public servants while striving to be the partner of choice throughout the region. And while putting people first and mission always, ensure that you take care of yourself, your family, your shipmates and their families, and Sector Jacksonville. The men and women under your leadership are truly the best America has to offer. Do not forget that we are always stronger together. And to the men and women of Sector Jacksonville, I ask that you extend to Captain Espino Young the same loyalty and commitment you afforded Captain Vaughn these past few years. To all the friends and families of Sector Jacksonville that are here with us this morning, especially Captain Vaughn's family, Captain Espino Young's family, words cannot express my deep respect and gratitude for all that you do to support the men and women of Sector Jacksonville as they carry out their critical missions. Even though you have not raised your right hand or sworn an oath, most of you, you have served alongside our Coast Guard men and women just the same. So thank you for your service and your sacrifice. We rely on it. And finally, thank you all for being here today. I know it means a lot to Mark and it means a lot to Janet. It also means a lot to me. We appreciate your support and your partnership. Semper Paratus, and God bless the United States Coast Guard.
Thank you, Admiral. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Commander, Sector Jacksonville, Captain Mark Vaughn.
So first of all, we officially ordered an ocean breeze for this event, and it hasn't yet to arrive, but we're still holding out hope. I want to thank Mr. Sakaris off the bat for running our color guard. He's a Coast Guard auxiliarist who's been doing that here for 4 or 5 years, and we've got a Marine Corps level color guard, I believe, so I really appreciate his support. The Navy Band, again, thank you. Always appreciate it. Saw you just yesterday at another change of command, so I know you're on the circuit just like we are, so appreciate it. And to the change of command team, Lieutenant Commander Dross and Ensign Lieutenant JG now, Kaiser, thank you for putting all this together, and we're still working on the ocean breeze. But good morning, Admiral McPherson, Admiral Dean, Admiral Schaefer, Admiral Justice, Admiral Brown, General Fleming, senior industry, government, and military leaders, commanders and commanding officers, distinguished guests, family, friends, a couple of classmates from the class of 1994, and of course, about 1,000 or so active reserve civilian members of Sector Jacksonville and our subunits and tenant commands throughout the area. Thank you all for being here today. I'm going to end my time in command this morning as I began 39 months ago by saying thank you. When I arrived here with my family in May 2019, after a year as Admiral Dean's deputy at Sector Miami and previously as Admiral Brown's chief counsel, I was told this would be a quiet tour. Specific quotes include, "This will be a nice break after a couple crazy tours in Miami. Don't worry, LNG as fuel won't take off. You might see 20 space launches this year, and Jacksport might be dredging by the end of your tour. And my personal favorite, you may have to volunteer for some things to remain visible." Admiral McPherson covered some of the main events, but let me add a little bit of personal context. During my relief week, that's before I actually took command, a charter passenger jet crashed into the St. Johns River. 3 days into my tour, we had a belligerent mariner deliberately violate the protective zone around a ballistic missile submarine in Kings Bay, which was a first since we'd been running that mission for 15 years, and violated the transit protection zone. In the first 3 months, we conducted the largest search and rescue case ever in terms of assets and people. And then we conducted the first response to motor vessel Golden Ray, came from Coast Guard Sector Jacksonville assets, and then we responded to Dorian in the first 90 days. LNG as fuel did in fact take off, and the global industry leaders are here in the audience today. Thank you. And SpaceX alone is on pace to launch 60 rockets this year, including one today, which is why a number of their folks and even mine can't be here. And Blue Origin, ULA, NASA are all leading and launching programs that the Coast Guard, that the National Space Program has never seen. In terms of visibility, I, along with Chief Powers and several other Sector Jacksonville personnel, have been interviewed by Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon, Robin Meade, Nora O'Donnell, Good Morning America, The Today Show, all of Jacksonville's outlets, Netflix, and on half a dozen occasions related to major incident response, space launch and recovery, and search and rescue, including the case of Stuart B., a yachtsman rescued 75 miles offshore, clinging Pirates of the Caribbean style to the end of his bowsprit. He was rescued by a merchant vessel that responded to our Amber call, and he became a global media sensation. All this is to say, we've changed our email tagline from "Welcome to Sleepy Sector Jacksonville" to some print we borrowed from Barry Compagnoni's team at Disney. You've entered Sector Jacksonville. Please ensure your safety belt snugly across your lap. Pull down and check your harness, and please keep your head, legs, and arms inside the vehicle at all times. This is going to be fun. And it was. Thank you to Command Master Chief Orlando and my combined Chiefs Mess, as I like to say, the place where they solve all the problems. Your sage advice and frequent counsel kept me off the shoals, and more importantly, it took care of our people in Central and North Florida. No matter whether they were Sector Jacksonville units or belonged to D7 area or headquarters, you are truly based North Florida. To my deputies, Captain Mike Reed and Josh Rose, thank you for being the true experts, the ones with all the good ideas that executed the good ideas and slow-rolled my bad ones. Wish you all the best on your continued voyages and beyond. To my department heads, OICs and COs, civilian subject matter experts, thank you so much for being the sentinels from Kings Bay to Canaveral. You've achieved spectacular mission success in areas most people, even in the Coast Guard, don't know that we do. From the regulation of autonomous vessels, to the escort of ballistic missile submarines, to LNG fueling simultaneously with passenger boarding, you've tackled all of the Coast Guard's cutting-edge missions every single day. And I don't believe we've had too many dull moments, even when I could have used a few in the last couple of weeks. Importantly, we didn't accomplish a single one of these prevention, response, or incident management operations alone. Our fellow Coast Guard men and women of Marine Force Protection Unit Kings Bay, Hitron, Valiant, Confidence, Vigilant, bases Miami Beach and Charleston, air stations Savannah, Miami, and Clearwater, they were with us at every turn. Thank you, Admiral McPherson, with your team at D7 for providing us with commander's intent, but then the freedom of action we needed to get the job done. To my fellow sector commanders, Adam Shammy, John Cole, Greg McGee, Matt Thompson, and now Rear Admiral Joe Burdian, thank you for being the greatest group of teammates ever, and you made even the toughest times fun. To my DoD colleagues, Captains Weaver, Rye, Hill, Canfield, Shashadi, Miller, Cruz, Allen, Spohr, Smith, Bowman, Bonner, many of whom could be here and many of whom are actually presiding over change of command someplace else, and Colonels French, Shepard, and Booth, thank you so much for being here and for your joint partnership, your mission execution, force projection, and working us into your plans, not the least of which was a number of Barron's luncheons and captains of council meetings, so thank you, Jay Hill, for that. To my DHS friends at OFO, AMO, Border Patrol, TSA, CISA, and HSI, and particularly Jennifer Bradshaw, my OFO partner down the hall, they supported us for every single boarding. They provided us the intel, land surveillance, investigative support on a moment's notice, and even when we were doing missions that were not your standard Coast Guard DHS missions. Each one of these has been a shared effort, so thank you. To my government partners, thank you to my friend and Julington Creek neighbor, Assistant United States Attorney Frank Talbot, and your team of federal prosecutors. And also thank you to our many friends in the FBI JTTF Executive Board, Florida Georgia Trident Group, as well as MARAD, DEA, NOAA, and the Army Corps of Engineers. Also thank you, special thanks to our space operations folks with NASA crew, Steve Chan, and your team, and as well as our folks over at FAA. Mr. Green, Captain Murray, and Mr. Rigucci, CEOs of Jacksport, Port Canaveral, and Fernandina, thank you for your patience, your mentorship, and your willingness to find common ground. It's truly been an honor to get to know you and your incredible team of executives, and to the many other maritime professionals that work for you, bringing billions of commerce into these cutting-edge maritime ports every day. Fellow first responders like Sheriff Hardwick, Sheriff Ivey, Sheriff Cook, Chief Sergeant, you're amazing partners on and off the water, and I want a special shout out to Lieutenant Josh Underwood. For the first couple of weeks of my assignment, he was briefed every morning as conducting a law enforcement case or a SAR case, so much so that I thought he was actually a Coast Guard officer. Later, turns out he's actually a St. Johns County Sheriff deputy And talk about, really interoperability. When he found out our radios weren't working, he actually brought his own up and installed them in our command center, fully approved through J6. And then especially to Chief Powers, my partner at JFRD. I've never met a more inspirational leader, crisis communicator, expert in the field. You're truly a great American and friend. I would not have wanted to appear in national news with anyone else for 8 or 10 days at a time. I will add that all my friends that haven't seen me in a while think I'm 3 feet tall because the images of me standing next to Chief Powers accentuate that he is in fact 2 feet taller than me. So thank you to Mayor Curry and the Jacksonville team. It's truly a great military town. To the space industry, SpaceX, Blue Origin, ULA, Boeing, Space Perspectives, Relativity Space, Operational Solutions. You challenge us every day by pushing a pace of change, novel technology, and rate of growth. It's unlike anything else. And more importantly, no entity has elicited the response, "What the heck is that?" from our Marine inspectors more often than the SpaceX fleet. A set of special purpose vessels, including remote and autonomous operations that land rockets vertically at sea and doing something we all know shouldn't happen. When we know, it's truly been fascinating to watch you make the impossible possible, and we look forward to watching you land the first woman on Mars. To our friends in the cruise industry, it's good to have you back. Port Canaveral Skyline looked great the other day with 6 ships alongside, and by the way, in 28 years, I'd never attended a ship christening with Chewbacca. But we had an opportunity to do that with the Disney Wish, so thank you, Barry and team. And to the maritime industry, particularly the U.S. flag fleet of Jones Act liners, ship repair facilities, and our pilots that are headquartered here in North and Central Florida: ARC, Crowley, Tote, Trailer Bridge, Moran, McAllister, BAE, Fincantieri, and ARC. I may have mentioned ARC twice. So thank you, Kelly, and I'm looking forward to joining the team. But thank you for everything you've done for the safety, security, environmental sustainability, and economic prosperity of the United States marine transportation system, and the livelihood and strength of the United States flag and the Merchant Mariner. And I'm really excited to join your ranks in 31 days. Janet, you've got a great team. A spectacular team of partners and first responders, from our at DHS Recom to the JTTF, ready to stand next to you on a moment's notice, and our friends at the Coast Guard Foundation, the Navy League, propeller clubs of Jacksonville and Canaveral, really heavy hitters, thank you. Military Affairs Committees, Jack Chamber of Commerce, City of Jacksonville Veterans Affairs, and the U.S. flag industry. Enjoy every minute of it. I can attest it goes kind of fast. I'll have a bit more on the personal front, but this has truly been the honor of a lifetime to be here at Sector Jacksonville and as a captain of the port of Central North Georgia, and I'll now read my orders. From Commander Coast Guard Personnel Command to Captain Mark R. Vaughn, subject, retirement orders. Detach upon relief and proceed to Homer Record for retirement after 28 years and 4 months of Coast Guard service.
Now, Captain Janet Espino-Young will read her orders.
From Commander U.S. Coast Guard Personnel Command to Captain Janet Espino-Young, U.S. Coast Guard subject orders, new assignment, detach and report to Sector Jacksonville, Sector Commander.
Very well.
Stand relief.
Very well.
Admiral has properly relieved the Sector Commander.
Very well. Carry on, go.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Captain Janet Espino-Young, Commander, Sector Jacksonville.
I haven't done anything yet, so thank you, Commander Rose, and good morning. I know we've gone through a lot of acknowledgement of all of our VIPs, but welcome to the many distinguished guests in the audience. Previously mentioned VIPs, active duty reserve, retired admirals, senior and industry leaders and commanding officers. Thank you for coming. I have the pleasure and the privilege as the incoming sector commander to be brief and to the point. So I'll start with Admiral McPherson. Thank you for the trust and vote of confidence in this opportunity. Working at District 7 alongside this past year was truly a learning experience, and I thank you for that. I wish to re-emphasize to you, Admiral, my personal commitment to lead this command to the best of my abilities. Captain Blond, thank you. Thank you for all the contributions you have made here in Sector Jacksonville, the community and the marine industry. You have been innovative and bold in meeting many of the unique challenges and missions. Thank you for all the incredible accomplishments, achievements. Your leadership and vision has certainly set us up for future success moving forward. So thank you for that. I appreciated your insight and guidance as well this past week, and wish you and your family continued happiness and prosperity as you transition to your next phase after military life. So thank you. I'm sure that in 6 months we'll be talking. So I'll start with family. To my husband, Brian, and I'll try to keep it locked up, but there might be some tears, some choking, I'm not sure. Thank you for always believing in me. Even when I doubted myself, for the constant care and love you shower me every day. It's not just because you pump gas on my car, I promise you. Of which you mentioned this morning. We couldn't have come this far without you. You holding down the fort and fighting the good fight in the home front. After being GEO Bachelor for, I think, 3 tours, I certainly appreciate you ensuring that we weren't evicted, we weren't homeless, and the kids grew up okay, I suppose. Which leads me to the transition to my kids. My sons, Zachary and Luke. If you would ask me the one thing that I've done right in my whole world of 50-something years, is having raised 2 of the most amazing individuals who bring me nothing but joy and illicit pride on the daily. They rib me, they keep me sane. They say that I have a bifurcated persona. I'm bipolar because I have a captain voice and I have a mom voice, which I didn't know that was a thing. But they certainly pointed out. So thank you for the never-ending love and support you've provided me. So far we haven't had to pay extra psychology bills for you to go to therapy. So we're good on that. And then to my mother, if you allow me, it wouldn't make sense for me. She understands English, obviously. It wouldn't to say these words in English. So I'll be speaking in Spanish for a moment. Mami, gracias por todos los sacrificios y las oportunidades que tú y Pipolo me han dado. Gracias por recalcar la frase que tocar a la puerta no es entrar. Pero si toco la puerta, debo hacerlo con convicción, no solo de que se abrirá, sino que nos invitarán a pasar. Y una vez adentro encontraremos la solución que estamos buscando, la posibilidad y esperaremos o la información que necesitamos. El camino al éxito se lleva a cabo con la fe en ti mismo, con perseverancia, apoyo, disciplina y humildad. Gracias, mami. wrap it up on the family front. To my sister, Marilyn, and Jamaris, and my brother-in-law, Jerry, I know I don't say it enough. I really don't. But your love and support is everything to me. So thank you for moving mountains to be here. Unexpected, but it certainly can't, there's no words to express my love, so thank you. Okay, we got that out of the way. To the crew of Sector Jacksonville, really thank you for your hospitality since I've arrived. Your professionalism, dedication, and commitment to excellence is truly remarkable, rising to the daily challenges of search and rescue and a myriad of others. We'll shorten that bit, but it's really with all the support of really all of the units under the umbrella of Sector Jacksonville, with 1,400 dedicated Coast Guardsmen, active duty reserve, auxiliary civilians assigned here to the units, and really additionally the collaborative effort with the incredible partners here in the greater Sector Jacksonville region and the Cape Canaveral location. This is I think probably one of my first tours that I can honestly say that has a true military family location. I don't think I've been in that many DOD commands surrounding us, and the support that this community, time and time again, that's all I'm hearing. The only thing I can tell the crew is that I vow to continue and forge and maintain partnerships to continue to find ways to engage several lines of effort to facilitate and continued safe shared use of waterways without hindering commercial innovation, to promote industry growth and serve this community with unwavering commitment. I welcome the challenges that lie ahead. And I know that we'll wrap it up, but the last thing is finally, I know these ceremonies don't happen with a click of a switch. So thank you very much for Lieutenant Dross and Lieutenant J.G. Kaiser and all of those that were involved in putting this together, from tents to everything else. Thank you very much for all the exhausting work, and it certainly paid off. Thank you in advance for your support, and that is all. Thank you so much.
Now please rise for the delivery of the benediction and remain standing for the playing of Semper Paratus and the departure of the official party.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for all the good that Captain Vaughn has been able to give and receive during his time in the Coast Guard. You have led him and his family all over the country, expanding the Coast Guard footprint. He has been able to contribute to so many unique and varied missions, all the way from commanding cutters, to senior legal advisement, to supporting space launches. We thank you for the sacrifices that he and his family have made in order that this important work can be done to serve and protect your people. We ask your blessing upon the Vaughn family as they now move on to calmer waters. And again, we ask that you be with Captain Espino Young and her family as she joins this exciting mission here in Jacksonville. We ask all this in the name of our shepherd who leads us beside quiet waters and restores our soul. Amen.
Now, Commander, 7th Coast Guard District, departing. And salute. Ready, 2. Now, Sector Jacksonville departing. Now, Captain, United States Coast Guard, departing. Thank you, everyone. There will be a short intermission and we will transition to the retirement ceremony.